Hello and welcome to ISSO Byte, Columbia University ISSO's podcast giving helpful hints, tips, and reminders for our international students. Are you ready? Let's take a bite. We know many of you have questions about optional practical training, otherwise known as OPT. And believe me, we get it. It can seem a bit overwhelming and stressful, but I promise you, it's nothing to fear. Lucky for you, today we have a special guest, Michelle Desikan, Senior International Student Advisor at the International Students and Scholars Office on the Morningside campus. In her role, she provides documentation and advising services to Columbia's robust F1 and J1 student community, tending to their immigration-related needs through assistance and information. Her expertise covers a host of issues such as visas, enrollment, employment, and travel. She has been with the ISSO since 2003. Welcome to ISSO Byte, Michelle.
Hi, Gwyneth. Glad to be here.
Great. I'm going to jump right in and ask you a few questions that are on the minds of our international students right now. What is OPT and how does a student find out if they're eligible for it?
Sure, let me explain. So OPT is a benefit of the F1 student status that allows students to work off campus in their field of study to gain practical work experience.
Okay.
So this work experience can be used before and or after the completion of their program. But I would say most students tend to use this after graduation. So we call this post-completion OPT. And this post-completion OPT can extend the student's status and any status of their dependents who are here under F2 beyond graduation.
Okay.
So there are several criteria for post-completion OPT, which I definitely recommend everyone to check out the website. Students don't know where to start. It's okay. They can always attend an OPT webinar, or they can watch a recording on the ISSO webpage. We also have this great Canvas course that we want all students to take because it'll help them understand the whole process better. You really shouldn't be afraid of this because it's a pretty quick and simple course.
Okay.
It takes a few minutes and you can do it at your own pace. So that's what's so nice about it. But when they finish the course, they're going to get a lovely certificate of completion, and they'll need to submit this as part of their application to the ISSO.
And can you take the course more than once?
Oh, you can take it as many times as you need. You know, it's something that you're doing at your own pace, so you can go over the questions again or the material again and then take it again.
That's great because maybe in some sections a student would want to review some material more than once.
Definitely. And there's a lot of information there, but we try to make it as, understandable as possible for our students.
That is great. So as long as the student submits a request to ISSO, they're good to go?
Well, not exactly. I wish it would be that simple, but it's actually a two-step process. So the first step is submitting a request to ISSO to get the new I-20, which will have the recommendation from our office on it. We call this the OPT I-20. So the second step then is to submit this request to the agency called the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, or also known as USCIS. It is a mouthful, so we try to stick with the acronyms. So USCIS will make the final decision on whether or not to grant the work authorization. And once they're approved, they'll send the student a document called the Employment Authorization Document. It's a card that they'll get that'll have the work authorization.
So it's an actual card?
It's a card, yep.
Thank you, Michelle. So this is super helpful. So does the student have to have a job in order to apply for OPT?
The great news is no. A job offer is not required in advance of the application, which is a really good news because this gives the student time to start their application early. Nothing to hold them back. For students, this would be 90 days before their program end date when they can start the application process. So we definitely encourage this as it can take USCIS a few months to process such requests, and the students have to have the EAD in hand before they can begin any work.
I see. So it can take a few months for USCIS to process the EAD card.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So definitely applying early is recommended.
It's not a quick process, so.
I see. And how does a student choose their start date for OPT?
This is a great question that a lot of students have, and there's no great answer because it's going to vary for each person. So we have a great video that students can watch. It'll help them look at how to choose a start date. It's linked on our post-completion OPT webpage. There are several factors to consider, of course, and each person has to think through for their own situation what this would mean for them.
What is the maximum amount of time a student has on post-completion OPT?
F1 students get 12 months of OPT per degree level. If a student had OPT previously authorized at the same degree level, this time used will be deducted from the total 12 months. So this includes any OPT authorized during their current program or any OPT authorized at another program at the same degree level. So I strongly recommend checking out our OPT calculator to help figure out the OPT dates. This will help make the process smoother.
Okay, that's great. So it really sounds like the OPT calculator is a great tool.
It really is. It really is.
Thank you so very much for helping guide our international students on post-completion OPT and the process. And for my final question, what are the most important takeaways regarding this process?
So I really want students to know that it's important to apply early.
Okay.
You got to attend an OPT webinar. And of course, if you can't, you can watch a recording. But you also want to make sure you take that Canvas course so it can help you follow the steps for the OPT process. It's really good, I would say, to make a checklist. So as you go through each step, you will avoid any confusion because there are a lot of steps involved. But we're trying to make it as smooth as possible for our students. If students still have any questions or concerns, they should feel free to make an appointment with the ISSO, and an advisor will be happy to help them through the process.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And as we always say, ISSO website is a student's best friend.
Aww.
So everything one needs is there.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Michelle, for all your helpful advice on post-completion OPT. And I do hope to talk to you again on a future ISSO Byte episode.
Oh, thank you so much as well, Gwyneth. Happy to chat again soon.
Thanks again for listening to ISSO Byte. Remember that everything we talked about today can be found on our website at isso.columbia.edu. Stay well